All right, what's up? Kemet here from Winnerswear. This is a Winnerswear t-shirt. If you want one for yourself, you can get one from my website. It's right in the description. Okay? You can easily get one for yourself. That's the Ankh symbol of the Eye of Hero right here. So it's all made into like one design. So if you want one, you can get one in the description. Link for it is right in the description. So, huh. Did getting your driver's license takes so much documentation and stuff to go through, but I guess that's just how it works. Hotep. Hotep, brother. Hope you're doing well. Uncle Justin. I might end up doing some more Meta stuff if people are interested, because there's more Meta material that I have here in the book. But if not, I could do other stuff on this channel too. I'm thinking of turning this channel into like a gaming channel, since that I have a lot and a lot more knowledge on. Especially stuff from the early 2000s. Yeah, possibly like a retro gaming channel, something like that. I have like a very long list of games that I want to play. So I think a nice idea for the channel would be to do like let's plays of all the games that I wanted to play that I never really got the chance to growing up. So that way, it's a new experience for me, and it's a new experience for whoever else didn't get to play those kind of games. Mm-hmm. So that'd be pretty cool. Like all of the like I was a big DMC fan, Devil May Cry, but the last one I played was DMC 4 for the Xbox 360. Now, I know that they came out with the DMC 5, but I don't have a PS4 or PS5 to play that kind of thing, so I need to get the equipment that I need in order to play that stuff on here. In fact, I don't even know how the heck you actually even live stream that stuff, but I'm sure they have like little how-to tutorials on how to do that. So I'll be sure to look that up. But for right now, I'm just going to be talking about the stuff that I have here on hand. By the way, if you want to know how to manage yourself, definitely get this book, On Managing Yourself, by Clayton M. Christensen. Mm-hmm. Any thoughts on an African spirituality-based gaming platform? I have no idea if anything like that exists. An African spirituality-based gaming platform. I would think the closest thing to that would be I would think it would be the Assassin's Creed series, but specifically the one that they have focused in ancient Egypt. I don't know what it's called, but I know they have an Assassin's Creed game based in ancient Egypt. I don't think it's pretty accurate though, since they have a lot of I don't think it's too accurate though. But I think that's the closest thing that they have to that, to a African spirituality based gaming platform. Maybe I could try and make one. I'd have to get into like 3D modeling though to be able to do that. Heck, if they don't have it, make it. Mm-hmm. Although What was that thing? Oh, yeah, Black Sands. You look that up on either YouTube or Facebook. That has to do with I think it's like a comic series or something like that, or an animated series where it has a lot of where it's based around a lot of um, comedic spirituality kind of stuff. So it's kind of it looks pretty cool to me. A lot of powers, a lot of ancient Egyptian gods and stuff like that, comedic gods. So it looks pretty cool. Give that a try. It's called Black Sands. The action looked pretty good from what I saw. Uh-huh. So yeah, right now I just want to read some stuff from this book since I've been really enjoying it. Yeah, this book right here. This will help you stay engaged through your 50-year work life, tap into your deepest values, solicit candid feedback, replenish physical and mental energy. It'll help you balance work, home, and community and self life, spread positive energy through your organization or business, whenever you're working with other people, help you rebound from tough times. This book will also help you decrease distractibility and frenzy, and also teach you how to delegate and develop employees' initiative. So this book isn't just on learning how to manage yourself, but it's also learning how to work together with other people and have a sense of synergy. So this is a book I'd recommend for anybody to read. So yeah, 13, 13, 13, 13. Mm-hmm. We live in an age of unprecedented opportunity. If you've got ambition, drive, and smarts, you can rise to the top of your chosen profession, regardless of where you started out. But with opportunity comes responsibility. Companies today aren't managing their knowledge workers' careers. Rather, we must each be our own chief executive officer. You have to take charge of your own life. Simply put, it's up to you to carve out your place in the work world and know when to change course. And it's up to you to keep yourself engaged and productive during a work life that may span some 50 years. To do all of these things well, you'll need to cultivate a deep understanding of yourself. What are your most valuable strengths and most dangerous weaknesses? Equally important, how do you learn and work with others? What are your most deeply held values? And in what type of work environment can you make the greatest contribution? The implication is clear. Only when you operate from a combination of your strengths and self-knowledge can you achieve true and lasting excellence. Mhm. So yeah, managing oneself. That was the idea in brief. Now the idea in practice. To build a life of excellence, begin by asking yourself these questions. What are my strengths? To accurately identify your strengths, use feedback analysis. Every time you make a key decision, write down the outcome you expect. Several months later, compare the actual results with your expected results. Look for patterns in what you're seeing. What results are you skilled at generating? What abilities do you need to enhance in order to get the results you want? What unproductive habits are preventing you from creating the outcomes you desire? In identifying opportunities for improvement, don't waste time cultivating skill areas where you have little competence. Instead, concentrate on and build on your strengths. Hmm. So yeah, you're gonna have a much easier time building on skills that you already have some kind of talent for. Like say myself, for example. Hmm. I may not be too good at fighting or playing music, guitar, stuff like that. But one thing that I definitely know that I'm good at, and many people have told me about it, is drawing. Kids used to ask me all the freaking time to draw their favorite comic book character or anime character or whatever, or video game character. It was really nice, but it got annoying after a while. But yeah, the main point of that is I was good at the time, but I could be a whole lot better if I actually um, focused and built my skill on that. So if you haven't tried certain things already, try different things out, see what you um, have some kind of talent for, and if you think you're relatively good at it, try and build on it. All right, here's another thing here. How do I work? In what ways do you work best? Do you process information most effectively by reading it or by hearing others discuss it? Do you accomplish the most by working with other people or by working alone? Do you perform best while making decisions or while advising others on key matters? Are you in top form when things get stressful, or do you function optimally, or do you function the best in a highly predictable environment? So, yeah, particularly someone like myself, I would say I do not function well in a stressful environment. I mean, I think I've probably gotten a bit better, but I'd say there's a lot more room for improvement. But yeah, focus on what works best for you. What are my values? What are your ethics? What do you see as your most important responsibilities for living a worthy, ethical life? Do your hmm, does your business does your business's ethics resonate with your own values? If not, your career will likely be marked by frustration and poor performance. Where do I belong? Consider your strengths, preferred work style, and values. Based on these qualities, in what kind of work environment would you fit in best? Find the perfect fit, and you'll transform yourself from a merely acceptable employee into a star performer. What can I contribute? In earlier eras, companies told business people what their contribution should be. Today, you have choices. To decide how you can best enhance your organization's performance, first ask what the situation requires. Based on your strengths, work style, and values, how might you make the greatest contribution to your organization's efforts? Mhm. So, yeah, focus on the areas where you think you can contribute best. Because, I mean, anybody does have the potential to do to do anything, but I feel that people have innate gifts or talents, and many people have no idea what those talents are because they've never even tried. So one of the best ways to find out if you're talented or something, if you're talented at something or not, is to try a lot of different things and see what works best for you. Hmm. Okay, management time. Who's got the monkey? And usually, when they say monkey, they mean by monkey they mean problems. So management time. Who's got the monkey? This is the idea in brief. You're racing down the hall An employee stops you and says, "We've got a problem." You assume you should get involved, but can't make an on the spot decision. You say, "Let me think about it." You've just allowed a monkey or a problem to leap from your subordinate's back to yours. You're now working for your subordinate. Take on enough monkeys or take on enough problems, and you won't have time to handle your take on enough monkeys or problems, and you won't have time to handle your real job, fulfilling your own boss's mandates and helping peers generate business results. So you won't have time for your own stuff. How to avoid accumulating monkeys or problems. Develop your subordinate's initiative. Yeah, develop your subordinate's initiative, says Onkin and Was. For example, when an employee tries to hand you a problem, clarify whether he should recommend and implement a solution, take action, then brief you immediately, or act and report the outcome at a regular update. When you encourage employees to handle their own monkeys or their own problems, they acquire new skills, and you liberate time to do your own job. Yeah, at a certain point in life, you just got to be able to do things on your own. Self-regulated, self-activated. Mm-hmm. All right, idea and practice. How to return problems or monkeys to their proper owners. Onkin, Was, and Steve Kovoy, in an afterword to this classic article, this is all from uh, very good business articles, by the way, offer these suggestions. Make appointments to deal with monkeys. Yeah, every time I say monkey, just say problem, because that's basically what it is. A monkey is a problem. Avoid discussing any monkey on an ad hoc basis. For example, when you pass a subordinate in the hallway, you won't convey the proper seriousness. Yeah, just passing by someone in the hallway trying to talk about a real problem? No, not really. Instead, schedule an appointment to discuss the issue. Yeah, probably do that like in a better space where you could actually discuss something, like an office or somewhere you can actually discuss something important. Specify level of initiative. Your employees can exercise 5 levels of initiative in handling on-the-job problems. From lowest to highest, the levels are: number 1, wait until told what to do. Number 2, ask what to do. Number 3, recommend an action, then with your approval, implement it. Number 4, take independent action, but advise you at once. And number 5, take independent action and update you through routine procedure. Yeah, number 5 is pretty difficult, but a lot of people are guilty of number 1 there, being wait until told what to do. Kind of a bad habit you get from childhood. An employee brings a problem to you. When an employee brings a problem to you, outlaw use of level 1 or 2. Agree on and assign level 3, 4, or 5 to the monkey. Take no more than 15 minutes to discuss the problem. Agree on a status update. After deciding how to proceed, agree on a time and place when the employee will give you a progress report. Examine your own motives. Some managers secretly worry that if they encourage subordinates to take more initiative, take on their own problems, they'll appear less strong, more vulnerable, and less useful. Instead, cultivate an inward sense of security that frees you to relinquish direct control and support employees' growth. Develop employees' skills. Employees try to hand off monkeys or problems when they lack the desire or ability to handle them. Help employees develop needed problem-solving skills. It's initially more time-consuming than tackling problems yourself, but it saves time in the long run. hmm Yeah, just like that old saying goes: give a man a fish, he eats for a day. Teach a man how to fish, eats for a lifetime. Foster trust. Developing employees is that apostrophe screws me up, man. Foster trust. Developing employees initiative. Developing employees initiative requires a trusting relationship between you and your subordinates. If they're afraid of failing, they'll keep bringing their monkeys to you rather than working to solve their own problems. To promote trust, reassure them it's safe to make mistakes. hmm All right. Yeah, that was management time. Good time for monkeys. Yeah, this is a great book right here on managing yourself. Okay, what's the next one here? How resilience works. 47. 47, 47. Okay, so how resilience works. These are dark days. People are losing jobs, taking pay cuts, suffering foreclosure on their homes. Some of them are snapping, sinking into depression, or suffering a permanent loss of confidence. But others are snapping back. For example, taking advantage of a layoff to build a new career. What carries them through tough times? That's resilience. Resilient people possess three defining characteristics. They coolly accept the harsh realities facing them. Number two, they find meaning in terrible times. And three, they have an uncanny ability to improvise, making do with whatever's at hand. Yeah, that's a hard one right there. In deep recessions, resilience becomes more important than ever. Fortunately, you can learn how to be resilient. Mhm. All right. Resilience can help you survive and recover from even the most brutal experiences. To cultivate resilience, apply these practices. Face down reality. Instead of slipping into denial to cope with hardship, take a sober, down to earth view of the reality of your situation. You'll prepare yourself to act in ways that enable you to endure, training yourself to survive before the fact. Yeah, here's an example of that. Admiral Jim Stockdale survived being held prisoner and tortured by the Viet Cong. Well, isn't that Vietnam? Well, anyway, in part by accepting he could be held for a long time. He was held for 8 years. Ooh, that's pretty long. Those who didn't make it out of the camps kept optimistically assuming they'd be released on shorter timetables. By Christmas, by Easter, by the 4th of July. I think they all died of broken hearts, Stockdale said. hmm Yeah, do what you can to help cope with certain situations. Search for meaning. When hard times strike, resist any impulse to view yourself as a victim and to cry, why me? Yeah, people are pretty, especially myself. It's a hard thing to, get over that mentality. Rather, devise constructs about your suffering. Yeah. Rather, devise constructs about your suffering to create meaning for yourself and others. You'll build bridges from your present day ordeal to a fuller, better future. Those bridges will make the present manageable by removing the sense that the present is overwhelming. Mhm. Example: Austrian psychiatrist and Auschwitz survivor Viktor Frankl realized that to survive the concentration camp, he had to find some purpose. He did so by imagining himself giving a lecture after the war on psychology of concentrate of the oh, that sucks. Let's try that again from the top. Austrian psychiatrist and Auschwitz survivor Viktor Frankl realized that to survive the camp, he had to find some purpose. He did so by imagining himself giving a lecture after the war on the psychology of the concentration camp to help outsiders understand what he had been through. By creating concrete goals for himself while in the camp, he rose above the sufferings of the moment. So yeah, give yourself goals and things to work towards in tough times. It'll help take your mind off of the gravity of the situation. Continually improvise. When disaster hits, be inventive. Make the most of what you have, putting resources to unfamiliar uses and imagining possibilities others don't see. Yeah, that's a hard one right there. That's when you have to be really imaginative. Think outside the box, as they say. Example of that: Mike founded a business with his friend Paul, selling educational materials to schools, businesses, and consulting firms. When a recession hit, they lost many core clients. Paul went through a bit of divorce, suffered a depression, and couldn't work. When Mike offered to buy him out, Paul slapped him with a lawsuit claiming Mike was trying to steal the business. Turning on him. Mike kept the company going any way he could, going into joint ventures to sell English language training materials to Russian and Chinese competitors, publishing newsletters for clients, and even writing video scripts for other competitors, who he's supposed to actually be fighting against. The lawsuit was eventually settled in his favor, and because of all of the work that he did trying to keep himself afloat, he had a new and much more solid business than the one he started out with. Dang, so that crappy situation actually kicked his butt into high gear. Ended up with a much better business than the one he started out with. Huh. All right, what's the next one here? Manage your energy and not your time. Yeah, that is a big one right there. 61. All right, so manage your energy, not your time. Businesses are demanding ever higher performance from their workforces. People are trying to comply, but the usual method, putting in the longer hours, backfires. They're getting exhausted, disengaged, and sick. And they're defecting to healthier job environments. Mhm. Longer days at the office don't work because time is a limited resource, but personal energy is renewable, says Schwartz McCarthy. By fostering deceptively simple rituals that help employees regularly replenish their energy, businesses can build workers' physical, emotional, and mental resilience. These rituals include taking brief breaks at specific intervals, expressing appreciation to others, reducing interruptions, and spending more time on activities people do best and enjoy most. Help your employees systematically rejuvenate their personal energy, and the benefits go straight to your bottom line. Take Wachovia Bank. Participants in an energy renewal program produced 13 percentage points greater year over year in revenues from loans than a control group did. And they exceeded the control group's gains in revenues from deposits by 20 percentage points. So basically, the whole point of that was to say, instead of trying to hammer away at the same thing and putting in more time doing the same thing that isn't working, try and take a different approach. Pivot. And especially try and do things that make the working process easier. So once you have those needs met, your productivity can end up being a whole lot better. So Schwartz and McCarthy recommend these practices for renewing dimensions of personal energy. Enhance your sleep by setting an earlier bedtime and reducing alcohol use. Reduce stress by engaging in cardiovascular. Ooh, I want to sneeze. Ooh. Let me read that again. Reduce stress by engaging in cardiovascular activity at least 3 times a week, and strength training at least once a week. At least once. Yeah, I think I'm good in that area. Should be exercising a lot more though. Eat small meals and light snacks every 3 hours. Wow. My mother used to tell me about that a lot, but I never took it all that seriously. Wow. I gotta look into that, how that works. Learn to notice signs of imminent energy flagging or reduced energy, including restlessness, yawning, hunger, and difficulty concentrating. Take brief but regular breaks away from your desk at 90 to 120-minute intervals throughout the day. So 90, that's hour and a half and 2 hours. So you want to take a break, short break between that time. Okay, so how to improve on your emotional energy. Diffuse negative emotions, irritability, impatience, anxiety, insecurity, all of these things through deep abdominal breathing. Yet taking deep breaths and letting them out does tend to work. It works for me anyway. Fuel positive emotions in yourself and others by regularly expressing appreciation to others in detailed, specific terms through notes, emails, calls, or conversations. Mhm. Look at upsetting situations through new lenses. Adopt a reverse lens to ask, what would the other person in this conflict say, and how might he be right? Yeah, try to look at it from their perspective. Use a long lens to ask, how will I likely view the situation in 6 months? So in the grand scheme of things. Employ a wide lens to ask, how can I grow and learn from this situation? You got to look at every obstacle and problem in your life. You got to look at that try to look at it from like a third person kind of view. What was the lesson that you learned from it, and what can you do to make sure this sort of thing doesn't happen again, and how can you improve? Okay, how to help your mental energy. Reduce interruptions by performing high concentration tasks away from phones and email. Yeah. Respond to voicemails and emails at designated times during the day. Every night, identify the most important challenge for the next day. Then make it your first priority when you arrive at work in the morning. Mhm. Yeah, working is a whole lot easier when you have clear, defined goals, especially when you have them set and written down. You're trying to work like trying to work all of that on your own in your own head makes a lot of clutter and can easily get you stressed out and confused. Spiritual energy. Identify your sweet spot activities. Those that give you feelings of effectiveness, effortlessness, effortless absorption, and fulfillment. Find ways to do more of these. One executive who hated doing sales reports delegated them to someone who loved that activity. Mhm. Allocate time and energy to what you consider most important. For example, spend the last 20 minutes of your evening commute relaxing, so you can connect with your family once you're back home. Mhm. Live your core values. For instance, if your consideration if consideration is important to you, but you're perpetually late for meetings, practice intentionally showing up 5 minutes early for meetings. So basically, what that means is, if you talk the talk, walk the walk. You don't want to be a hypocrite and not follow the things that you say. If you're on your game and doing the things that you're supposed to do and being the person that you're supposed to be, always on time, getting stuff done, and you got to actually do those things. You can't just talk about it; you got to be about it. How companies can help to support energy renewal rituals in your firm. Build renewal rooms where people can go relax and refuel. Subsidize gym memberships. Encourage managers to gather employees for midday workouts. And suggest that people stop checking emails during meetings. Hmm. So yeah, you could probably want to build an environment where people have an easier time being productive. Overloaded circuits. 79. 79. So yeah, overloaded circuits, or basically overloading yourself. Frenzied executives who fidget through meetings, miss appointments, and jab at the elevator's door close button aren't crazy people. They're just crazed. They're suffering from a newly recognized neurological phenomenon called attention deficit trait. Not ADD, attention deficit disorder, ADT, similar but not the same thing. Attention deficit trait, marked by distractibility, inner frenzy, and impatience. ADT prevents managers or people in general from clarifying priorities, making smart decisions, and managing or and making and managing their time. Yeah. This insidious condition turns otherwise talented performers into harried underachievers, and it's reaching epidemic proportions. ADT isn't an illness or character defect. It's our brain's natural response to exploding demands on our time and attention. As data increasingly floods our brains, we lose our ability to solve problems and handle the unknown. Mhm. Creativity shrivels, mistakes multiply. Some sufferers eventually melt down. How to control ADT's ravaging impact on performance? Foster positive emotions by connecting face to face with people you like throughout the day. Take physical care of your brain by getting enough sleep, eating healthfully, and exercising regularly. Organize for ADT, designating part of each day for thinking and planning, and setting up your office to foster mental functioning. For example, keeping part of your desk clear at all times. These strategies may seem like no-brainers, but they help you vanquish the ADT demon before it has a chance to strike. hmm Okay. How you can combat ADT. Promote positive emotions. Negative emotions, especially fear, can hamper productive brain functioning. To promote positive feelings, especially during highly stressful times, interact directly with someone you like at least every 4 to 6 hours. In environments where people are in physical contact with people they trust, brain functioning hums or gets a lot better. By connecting comfortably with, by connecting comfortably with colleagues, you'll help your brains I don't talk this much. Wow. I need to talk a lot more. By connecting comfortably with colleagues, you'll help your brain's executive center, responsible for quick decision making, planning, and information prioritizing, perform at its best. Take physical care of your brain. Ample sleep, a good diet, and exercise are critical for staving off ADT. Attention deficit trait, if you remember. Not ADD, but attention deficit trait. Similar, but not the same thing. You're getting enough sleep if you can wake up without an alarm clock. Yeah, that means I'm not getting enough sleep at all. You're eating well if you're avoiding sugar and white flour and consuming more fruits, whole grains, vegetables, and protein instead. Eh, I'm mostly doing that, but still gotta have my sugar. I mean, it's organic cane sugar, so it's not that bad. You're exercising enough if you're taking a brisk walk or going up and down a flight of stairs a few times a day. Okay, I think I'm doing a lot more than that, so I think I'm good. Organize for ADT. Instead of getting sucked into the vortex of mail or voicemail first thing in the morning, attend to a critical task. With paperwork, apply the Ohio handle it once rule. Whenever you touch a document, act on it. File it or throw it away. Do crucial work during the times of day when you perform at your best. Use whatever small strategies help you function mentally, or function well mentally, whether it's listening to music or walking around while working, or doodling during meetings. So whatever helps you be productive, do it. And before you leave for the day, list 3 to 5 priority items you'll need to address tomorrow. What your company can do, or what your business can do. In firms that ignore ADT symptoms, employees underachieve, create clutter, and cut corners. Careless mistakes, illness, and turnover increase as people squander their brain power. To counteract ADT and harness employees' brain power, invest in amenities that foster a positive, productive atmosphere. That'll help a lot. So here's an example of that. Major software company SaaS Institute creates a warm, connected, and relaxed work environment by offering employees perks such as a 7-hour workday that ends at 5, a large on-site gym and daycare facility, and a cafeteria that provides baby seats and high chairs so parents can eat lunch with their children. Oh, that's nice. The payoff from that? Employees return the favors in high productivity. And SaaS's turnover never exceeds 5%, saving the company millions on recruiting and training and severance. So yeah, if you take care of your If you take care of your employees' needs or whoever's working for you, if you take care of somebody else's needs, they will do the best they can for you. Hmm. All right. I think that was nice for today. Well, for anybody watching, Hotep, I'm Kucha Sedeb. Have a good night.